Woo! We're in an RX7, and this is super exciting. I've never even been in an RX7, and the first time we're doing it, we're driving it. So today, again, back in Nashville, gonna go down some back roads and stuff like that, but this is just crazy because I just did a BMW M5 in my last video, and now we're just jumping all the way to Japan and doing an RX7, and super pumped. We don't have a ton of gas, so it's gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode. It's also a manual, so we gotta be careful. It's not like a BMW, which I've recently drove, where we can just floor it. No, we have to really know what we're doing here and shifting well and all this stuff. But I'm super excited. This is gonna be a really good episode, guys. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay, but yeah. I mean, we're gonna go find some back roads. I've got a couple ideas. This one right here, I used to take my motorcycle on it all the time. So we're gonna go see what this is all about. But this might be one of my favorite manual transmissions I've ever driven. Like, it's so smooth. It's so nice, dude. Now, I have a manual Jeep at home, and that thing's fun. It's nice, it's cool. But this just is a whole nother level of manual, you know? For being a rotary, which I've never been in, it's so different. It feels like a two-stroke, and funny enough, it basically is a two-stroke. You have to mix the fuel and everything, and I generally... Oh, there's a big tractor right in front of us. We're gonna slow down. But yeah, this is super weird and bizarre because it's not like an inline 6 or a V6 or V8. It's a rotary, you know. It's a completely different engine than you would think how it feels and drives and shifts. It's very, very bizarre. It's so crazy how this thing drives. I'm trying to be careful because we're on a small back road and there's tractors absolutely everywhere. But yeah, this thing it's very different than driving a normal stick, because not necessarily like the transmission's different, but the way it redlines and the way it, you know, wants to shift, because this, you have to shift between 4,000 and 5,000, which is pretty high for like cruising, because you can't cruise at 2,000 RPMs. You have to cruise around 4 or 5. And that being said, it's a lot louder than a normal car. No AC in this thing, as I suspected. I mean, it's an older car, but it's so relaxing with the windows down and hearing that engine just, I don't know, dude, it's so nice. But yeah, by far, definitely my favorite manual transmission I've ever driven in my life. I've driven Miatas, Jeeps, and all that stuff, but this tops it, 100%. But dude, these downshifts, man, insane. I don't really have much to say, you know. I mean, horsepower wise, okay, 200 to 300 horsepower, but I mean, it's an RX7. There's not like a crap ton to talk about. The interior's fine, you know. It's an old Japanese car, but the engine, where it's at, like, that's where everything is. That's what makes this car an RX7. So besides that, there's nothing much to talk about, you know. It's a two-seater. There's some space in the back, but I mean, it's just such a good car to drive. I don't want to slam on the gears at all because it's not my car and it's an older car. But if you do, just barely give it some throttle. This thing is so good. It sounds so good. Like, unbelievably good. That's only at 3,500 RPMs, what you just heard. I can't imagine 8. For being not a too high revving car, it's it's super, super loud for being, you know, how low you are in the RPMs. Like right now I'm at 4,000, and I feel like I'm at 6, but I'm not. So being at 7 or 8, it's just insane. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so the owner of this car, Ethan, I'm gonna link all his stuff down below. Make sure to please go follow him, guys, because without my supporters, I guess you could say, none of these videos would be possible. And if you want your car to be featured in a video in the Nashville area, I have my Instagram where you can message me or send me an email, and we'll definitely get something going up. Kind of just looking at these air temps and stuff, air fuel ratio, oil temp, oil pressure. Down here I have the coolant and all that stuff. So there's so many electronic stuff on this car, even though how old it is, there's still so many things. And of course you have boost in the front. So I'm sure if you build up boost, this thing is just gonna rip. But I mean, honestly, if you just drive it how it wants to be driven, it feels so good for being this old of a car, man. Yeah, but I mean, everything feels super dialed down, you know? I wasn't expecting this when I got in the car, but it drives way better than I thought. But you have to be a pretty good driver to be able to drive this thing, because it is a manual, and then combined with the rotary, it's completely different. It's not like a normal car where you would shift gears and everything's fine and it auto blips for you. You have to manually blip this up and down just to really get a good feel out of the car. The color of this car too is amazing. He had it originally at a blue wrap, but now it's like this glossy white, and it looks so good. Alright guys, so that was it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. It was super, super simple, super, super fast, and I sure love making these videos. It's fun every time. But yeah, so make sure to subscribe if you want to see more. Not gonna make you, but see you guys in the next one.